What's up, YouTube? It is Saturday. It's the Merc channel. You are in the garage, which if you look behind me is 48 degrees. So I told myself if it was going to be about 40 degrees, I was going to work. As long as I can tolerate it, because I don't do well in cold. I hate cold. Everybody hates cold. That's, comes with living in Indiana. So it is what it is. But it's Saturday, so the Chevrolet light is on. Big shout out to Jerry Fenton for that. That means if the light's on, we're working. So let's see where we're at today. I'm going to move you guys. We have here some cut up pieces of roof, which we had to, in the last episode I talked about, we had to section the roof so that it would fit back together. So I'm going to lower you guys a little bit here. Give me just a second. So we're going to drop you down. So, a couple things. So you can see, this is our midline. We figured when we took the 8 inches out of the middle of the cab. We quartered the roof so we could lower it, and I wanted to put the mail slot in it. I tacked this, and this was kind of hard to do one-handed. So it's a little tiny bit crooked. This is just actually about an 1/8 inch lower than this side. So we're going to cut these tacks loose and redo this. But in the meantime, I have cut the other side. I had to make a split here so that when we put the outside in place, it lines up and the inside lines up, because the cab is wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So as you move it down, it has to widen. So what we're going to have to do is put a strip in here, and we've discussed this in the other video. But the other thing is, if you look, I've got blue tape marked down my center line, and this part over here is going to have to go away because you can see it's past our center line, and if I tried to put the other piece, which I've sectioned, next to this, they're going to overlap a bunch, like over to here. So we're going to have to make a cut here. We're going to make a cut on the other one, and the other one's going to need trimmed a little bit because I'd rather cut everything long and sneak up on my dimensions so that I can, play with it a little bit and tinker with it. So this one I'm pretty happy with, other than I'm going to cut the tacks and we're going to move this. We're going to cut the other one, but before I cut this loose, I'm going to take this little section out. And when we go to put these back, like I said, I had an issue trying to hold it with one hand and weld it with the other, and the clamps really aren't that good at this. So what I did, bear with me, I scored $6 a piece at Harbor Freight. They have these telescoping pickup magnetic tools for, there went my 10 millimeter. So they extend out, but I wanted just a magnet part. So I got 2 of these and I took them apart, and there's a cover on this side, and then there's a plastic cap that goes over it to keep it, whatever. So all I did was disassemble this thing, and these are actually, you can see they're actually a pretty good sized magnet, and they've got a good pull. And I'll show you real quick. You can actually, let's do this side. Now this piece has to be trimmed because I didn't quite cut it deep enough, which is fine. I'd rather sneak up on it, like I said. So, but you can see, you can set this. Now this has to be trimmed. But you can see just from, I have one there and one on the side, and it just sticks it right in place. So that's cool. So I recommend $6 a piece for those. Harbor Freight's got them, you can probably get them anywhere. But take them apart and use the magnet out of them, and you got a good surface to surface. Now, they make little butt weld clamps that put about between a 1/16 and an 1/8 gap, and you can use those, but the problem is this is 2 layered, so it's going to be hard to get the back side of it to put the clamp part in. So I really wanted to just magnet these in place. When we tack this side, you can see it's pretty flush. I could TIG the rest of this. But when I cut it apart, there's going to be a little tiny bit of a gap because the kerf of the blade is going to open it up. And that's fine, because we got room to tweak this around. So we'll use the magnets, and we'll put everything back together, and then we'll just use, I'll show you how to do the cardboard template actually it's poster board. We'll do the poster board trick and make the templates for our strips, and we'll put our strips in on both sides, and then all of this will be one piece. Then we can finish up the A-pillars the way we want, get them straightened and aligned properly. Then we put the main roof back on it, and then it's a roof again. Then all we have to do is the doors. So I'm going to cut the strip. We'll just time lapse this. I'm going to trim this piece up because it's sitting wonky. I have to trim actually this inside corner back some, so I'm going to do that. But I want to show you guys these little magnets real quick before we get started, because they're actually pretty handy. I mean, this is a pretty good chunk of metal, and it holds it just boom right there. So, but you can see I have it taped. Right here is kind of the angle we need to keep this aligned, and you can see when I cut it at 90. So to make it fit right, I'm going to just nib it and then follow that around. So we'll do that. But let's get this cut made, and then we'll trim this stuff up and we'll start fitting everything back together. So yeah, we'll do that. So let's time lapse this, get this cut, and we'll have to do the same cut on the other one, but we'll do that once it's in place. So let's get started. We've hit a snag, which not a big deal. It's 2 layers because of the inside mounting for the dome light. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my tacks and take this piece back off. Then I'll finish cutting it, and then we'll put it back on. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these 2 tacks out. I can lay this upside down on the table and cut the inside of it, and then we'll cut the other one and we'll put it back together and start fitting it. So let's take these tacks out. So, you know you got a good tack weld when it doesn't want to let go, and it was just 2 little tiny tacks. So, there's that. Okay, so now we got this. Let's put you back over here. See if we can see a little better. This tripod doesn't like me some days. So, okay. So now we can correct our angle. I'm going to take the flat disc and clean this up a little bit first. But that gets us a lot closer. So I'm going to take my tape off. I got to take my gloves off. I'm going to clean these up a little bit with the flat disc, and then we'll stick that in place. Then we're going to cut our other one, which I think I have the other one taped. Yeah, I do. The other one's taped, so we're going to cut it, and then we'll patch this back together. So let's get this cleaned up, and then we'll switch tools. Okay, so take our new magnets, stick them back up here. Alright, so one of them by itself isn't quite going to hold on each side, so as you can see. But irrelevant. What we're looking at is this fit is still good right here, and now we can correct this height gap. So what I'm going to have to do is, like I did last time basically, is I'm going to have to just space this, get it close, put a tack back here, and then we can mess with the rest of it. So the magnets will help, but they're not going to hold it 100%. So I just have to come up with something real quick. I mean, basically I just need something to stick in there. Like something like that's not gonna work. Well, okay, so I don't know if you can see my big ass in the way. So what I'm going to do is, I got the clamps, well, let's move this. I got the magnets to the inside edge, like this. And I'm going to have to just sit this, hold it with my left hand, tack it with the MIG with the right. So we're going to do that real quick. So let's pause it for a minute and get this set up. And then we'll tack it into place, and then we'll come back. So I'm going to take my glove off. Let's pause you. Of course, I forgot to turn the camera on, so I tacked right here. Just one little tack, just kind of hold it. So now I'm going to measure right here, and I'm going to measure over here and see where we're at gap-wise. And if I'm happy with it, we'll move this magnet, put another tack right about here, and that'll hold it for right now. So let's get square. All right, so so actually okay, so you have to remember when these are stamped, they're not perfect openings, and this is going to get either a Lexan back window or it's going to get probably expanded metal for a back window anyway. So we are, if you kind of average the first third of it and then go to the center, you're within about a 16th, which is good enough for a rat rod for what we're doing. It was off about a little over an eighth before, and I thought that was too much because you could see it. So now if you look at it, in fact, we'll just move you so you can look at it. Let's kind of line you up centered on. We're not quite level. Let's see. This tripod. Okay, so that should be center of frame roughly. So you can see it's pretty close. So let's put another tack on it real quick. We'll get that tack, and then we'll tack the other side. And now we can see how close our centers are going to come together. If they're going to line up like they're supposed to, or if we're going to have to, you know, we can flap disc adjust them a little bit at a time. So let's get another tack here so that this stays. So we're going to gently pull that. And actually, I'm really happy with that fit up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my body hammer and push this flush right before I tack it. Because it's within a 16th, it's close. So we get over learn how to put my body hammer, which I've hidden. I know it's here. What did I do? Oh, my garage ate it. Here's one. We'll use this one, it's good enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of pressure on it. Right there. That'll hold it flush. And we'll put another tack. I'm going to put my wire. And I don't know if you can notice or not, but my sweatshirt is now covered in dust because every old truck has a story. And when I was cleaning up this edge to be able to weld this strip in, we found Bondo. It's really old Bondo, you can tell. So I don't know how long it's been there, but it's been there a while. So that'll all get ground out and we'll deal with it. So let's put a little tack. No. Point. Whoops. Then we bumped the trigger. Okay. Actually, I think I can just hold it where I want it. Awfully thin right there. It's ugly, but it's tapped. And that's fine. But at least now my gap is pretty much what I want for this side. So we can actually take our magnet off now. So now, let's see what the other side looks like and see what we're going to have to do with it. Stay. Okay, remember we haven't cut this one in the center yet. We just want to see if we're even in the ballpark. So when we line this up, I think once we make the cut, we're going to be really close. So we'll stop you for a minute. We'll make the cut because I have to cut both sides again. So we'll make the cut and we'll come back. Okay, so let's file this under the old saying, measure twice, cut once, and it's still too short. So I taped where I wanted my lines, cut down the middle, right there. So I cut passenger side, boom, fits good. Went over, cut the driver's side and cut it right along the tape, perfect cut, set it up on there and looked, and it's short by the width of the tape. I cut on the wrong side of the line. So I still have the piece I cut off, so I trimmed it up. Now I'm going to cut a 1-inch strip, weld it back in, and then fit it on there, and it should fit like it's supposed to. So, moral of the story, double, triple, quadruple check everything before you cut it, or you're going to be stitching it back together like I got to do. So, I'm going to put you guys on pause again. We'll go do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so put a strip in. Now we fit it up. And you can see when we butt up against, we're actually a little bit long on top, which is fine because I can sneak up on it on this side a little bit at a time with a flat disc. And I need to gain a 1/4 inch roughly, so I can just sneak up on it until it's where I want, and then that's ready to go. But I got other projects to work on today, so we're going to wrap this up for now. I'll be back out probably tomorrow. We'll finish this up, get that tacked, and get the corner trimmed and tacked, and then we'll start making our 2 strips for there, and then the back will be done. So get out of here for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll stitch this into one video, and then we'll pick back up tomorrow where we're leaving off right here, which is we're trim this, fit it, and then keep going. So you guys have a good rest of the day. We'll see you tomorrow.